DVD Blu-ray clean out of your stream when? Oh, you mean over there? I told you I have a bin in the other room across the hallway with a bunch of Blu-rays and stuff in it. When? I mean, when we feel like. Right now, I am busy with games. We're busy with all kinds of stuff. That's the kind of stuff you do when you got nothing to do, right? Like we did the closet clean out over the last summer when there was nothing going on for a new game. So we'll tackle that stuff later in the year, perhaps, if you guys want. Do I still have all my childhood belongings at my parents' house? I don't know. I don't know the extent of what they've kept and what they haven't. They told me, I know this sounds crazy, but listen to this. They told me many times over the years, oh, they kept all my kids' stuff in their attic just in case I have kids and I want to give it to my kids. I want you to think about how crazy that sounds. What? Why, if I had kids, would I give my kids the stuff when I was a kid? I don't want my kid playing with fucking He-Man figures from the 1980s. I don't want them using a stroller from the 1980s. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I have no idea. But I don't know if they still have... I know they got rid of some stuff. I know that for a fact. Because there was one point, I was asking them, do you have some of that old video game stuff I used to have? Like, remember I told you guys about the original Pong console? And I asked my dad, and he's like, nah, I don't think we have it. I think we threw out a bunch of stuff at one point. So I don't know, honestly, what they have and what they don't have. I mean, I'll know one day, eventually, right? I'm going to inherit it all. But I don't know what's there right now. Average at best is that I collect anything as a kid, stamps, cards, rocks. I started off as a baseball card collector. In the late 1980s, I was collecting Topps baseball cards. And in particular, I really liked the Mets baseball team. But I had all the sets. I would buy complete sets of the baseball cards. And then I went to Upper Deck. Why? Because Upper Deck cards were just way higher quality than Topps. Then I got out of the habit of sports and got into comic books. So I started collecting pop culture / comic book cards. Whenever a new movie or whatever came out, I'd buy some of the cards and start collecting. Like I remember when the original Batman movie came out, I started collecting Batman cards and stuff like that. And then I started doing comic book cards, and I had full series of things like X-Men Series 1 and 2, Marvel Masterpieces Series 1 and 2. I had a lot of those kind of cards back then. And of course, I was in comic books as well. So for a good run there in the early 90s, basically when the X-Men rebooted and had their new comic book series, so now there was Uncanny X-Men as well as another X-Men line, I was collecting and reading all of those the entire time. I did that probably for about 5 years, and then I got so heavily into video games and fighting video games that those hobbies kind of went by the wayside, and I just stopped collecting. The last collectible thing that I really collected was action figures. The Todd McFarlane action figures. Spawn. Those were huge. Like, those were ginormously popular in the 90s, and I collected those. And then I think I finally stopped collecting. They started doing Street Fighter action figures, big, nice, artistic ones. And I had several of those, and those are the last ones I really actively collected. So, okay. Don't I want kids? I'm too old for kids. I'm 40 years old. I'm 40 years old. Financially, I'm not that sound. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I might be. Basically, I'm at a point in my life now where if I maintain the course of what I'm doing right now, I should be able to hopefully, fingers crossed, refinance my home within the next couple of years. And if I do that, then I should be all right. And then I'll finally be financially sound, but I'll be in my 40s. I'm not going to have kids. I don't want kids, first of all. And then on top of that, it's too late to have kids. It's not, I don't have the money to do it, to raise kids properly. There's so many people on this planet. They're like, just because I can have kids, I should have them. I've never been of that mentality. For me, it's if I was going to have kids, it had to be within my means. It had to be that I know I could provide for those children and give them a really good life. I can't do that. I know I can't. I absolutely positively know I can't. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have kids and then put them in a situation where we're struggling constantly and everything's messed up. Absolutely not. So the answer is no. True. Exactly. Returnal says anyone can have kids, but the parenting part's very hard. Exactly. How am I supposed to parent my kid? I'm in here 6 days a week full time, man, just to make ends meet now. Now I have a kid. How am I going to pay for that kid on top of everything else when I'm in here, working so much? It's just not going to happen. The answer is absolutely not. I'm not having kids. Okay. Okay.